Tokyo Ghoul is an anime adaptation of Ishida Sui's work Tokyo Ghoul the manga with Young Jump Comics. The manga was released on September of 2011 whilst the anime took a while to kickstart, following in July of 2014. The now popularized anime Tokyo Ghoul started as a simplistic dark fantasy psychological thriller where it would eventually develop into something more targeted towards dark and fantasy as a genre. It has spun off into 4 seasons currently with 2 OVAs, its own film adaptation, a theatrical play, and several books. Of course, there are many people who disagree that Tokyo Ghoul should be watched. This is mostly due to the director Shuhei Morita and screenwriter Chuji Mikasano ruining the important context of story dialogue. If you've seen both the manga and anime as I have, you can immediately tell by the first half of the season that a large set of character context and development are lacking, and that the impact of the lead character Kaneki's choices taking him to where he is now just isn't as meaningful as it should be. Upon researching reviews for this video, I've seen countless threads as to why you'd probably want to stick to the manga if you care about having a canon experience. However, due to Western society growing more towards the digital appearance of animation, more and more people are preferring to watch an anime versus reading the manga. Some of the reasons can be that because manga is such a popular thing in Japan and made as books for the local Japanese people, there is no need to translate them into foreign languages such as the dominant one like English. So smaller companies along the world capitalize on this market and ruin faithful translation for the reader, inevitably telling you the unintended story. Of course, this can likely happen to your anime, and most likely does if you're a watcher of sub, but due to the voice actors, we can depict the importance of delivery to every line and build a connection to tell us if these scenes are significant. Moving on towards the bulk of Tokyo Ghoul and the answers you've been waiting for to watch this. Tokyo Ghoul is set in Japan in an alternative universe where cannibalistic beings almost identical to humans but have powers are commonly known as ghouls. We aren't told if the ghouls are limited to Japan or if they have inhabited the entire world, but knowing this deeper conspiracy wouldn't affect the plot under any circumstance, I promise. In this universe where ghouls exist, they are seen as the mistakes of the world and ruin the peaceful life of humans by killing them to sustain their own life. In the anime, they say that a whole human body can last them about a month. If a ghoul consumes human food, not only does it taste horrible, but if it is not thrown back up, it makes them ill. Human ghoul hybrids are rare, but are said to possess much greater strength than ordinary ghouls. Hybrids were believed to only appear on the rare occasion that a human and a ghoul successfully mated, until the advent of protagonist Kaneki Ken, a regular human until ghoul organs were transplanted into his body. Because of this development, an anti-ghoul organization named the CCG, also known as the Commission of Counter-Ghoul, hunt and kill the ghouls using specially crafted weapons made from the core of a ghoul's superhuman abilities. The story directs us to let us know that there has been an unspoken war between ghouls and the CCG for as long as Japan is remembered, and that this unwanted coexistence must come to an end. Tokyo Ghoul tackles deeper psychological and philosophical problems that you probably never thought it does. One of the biggest things in Tokyo Ghoul is that it targets a classist approach. Classism is known as a prejudice against people belonging to a particular class, showing that ghouls are recognized in society. We can understand that ghouls are terrible monsters to humans, but they are written as an oppressed minority despite having incredible powers to overthrow the human race if they wanted to. But a lot of this was to create sympathy towards the minority of Tokyo Ghoul and the audience. Ishida Sui wanted to illustrate how most of us have become segregated in today's society through classist means. This may be because of our financial income, religion, sexuality, or intellectual value, but they make us feel separated even though some of us have the power to overthrow our oppressors just the same as the ghouls do. Furthermore, from all the interviews of Ishida Sui, we discover he had been in a confused state for almost all of his life and was unsure of his path. He had battled depression and loneliness due to his upbringing and always changing locations, so he never had the time to build a connection with anyone outside of his own family. Ishida Sui had released a diary he had long forgotten about, written on July the 7th of 2009, which can be found at Ken Kamashiro's Tumblr. I've arrived in Tokyo. I am living alone. Looking back at my diary, I can see just how rough around the edges I was. I was so foolish, short-sighted, naive. From around second year, I was such a giant brat who couldn't stop laughing. Compare him to now, and I am sure I've grown a lot. Looking back at the recent diary entries, it occurred to me, why didn't I ever write a lot? I want to grow as a person, even a tiny bit. Why do the diary entries from my technical college days have nothing but dreams written in them? I must have been asleep for quite some time. Right now, I'm creating storyboards that I can bring to Shueisha. I'm bringing them in tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. It's a story about war, though I'm not sure whether I can draw a sci-fi with my skills as they are now. There have been times where I've been at a loss, when I've had regrets, like, what was the whole point of me going to technical school for 5 years? Or, would you be living a better life if you tried harder? Stuff like that. But everything in the past is connected to the present. Every mistake, every little bit of suffering, every little success is creating the person that I am today. If I can acknowledge myself now, that will acknowledge everything in my past. All my failures are a part of who I am today. If I'm happy now, I owe it to my past self. I can't acknowledge myself 100%, but I kinda like who I am. Then, I can't be that bad, right? Through reading this diary, we not only discover he had aspirations of becoming better and stronger, but we discover that his life has been confused as to what his purpose in life was to do. Therefore, whilst we watch Tokyo Ghoul through the eyes of the protagonist Kaneki, we can see Ishida Sui living vicariously throughout Kaneki, as well as a few of the other cast members. Because of this, Ishida Sui wanted to relate to the viewers around the world who have felt as if they too were in a similar state to him, and help them with their journey as much as he can. Ishida Sui wanted his first working class piece of art to express the deeper sorrows he held in his life and materialize them into our existence for the world to read and watch upon. Ishida Sui did not create Tokyo Ghoul as a call for help, but rather as an awakening call for those struggling to do something greater and fight their battles just as he has done as Kaneki. Now, there are many dissections into Tokyo Ghoul's first opening theme, where the visuals for it explain the dual reality that the protagonist leads as an agathocacological being, which defines as a person composed both of good and evil. He lives his normal life as an echidentesiast, which refers to those who provide fake smiles living behind a mask, so to speak. We won't be breaking down the intro here, but hopefully some of these underlying factors have awakened you just as much as Ishida Sui has awakened me. This is YOUKAI's take on Tokyo Ghoul and why you should watch it. We're looking to get better with each episode, so please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and please hit that subscribe button.